At half of the press. Well, my people, me here for drop the real news, news, reviews, everything in a one right this or right there, my people. So all I want to know to do is like up the video, share out the video, subscribe to my channel, my people. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Let's get right into it.
A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also.
A blessed good day to you, my wisdom warriors. Wagwan, wagwan. I hope you guys are in good spirit. Well, let me kick it off like this.
The following is a release from the People's National Party Media Unit.
The opposition publicly commends Commissioner of Police Kevin Blake and the entire Jamaica Constabulary Force team on the significant 35% reduction in reported murders for the first quarter of 2025. This performance demonstrates what the police can achieve with professional, targeted, and data-driven policing methods. Relying primarily on the powers given to them under the JCF Act, the police are now substantially more effective in containing murders than when the wasteful and unproductive states of emergency were being used as a serial and routine tool of policing. The PNP's principled stance in not supporting the 90-day extensions, together with the various core challenges by us and others, have curtailed the use of SOEs since 2023. The few declarations since have been short-lived and merely performative. We bemoan the unnecessary loss of life that occurred during the years when the JLP administration stubbornly refused to abandon the SOE policy. This resulted in 2,300 more murders occurring, a 25% increase than if they had even just maintained the average annual number of murders that the JLP administration inherited from the previous PNP administration. Consequently, Prime Minister Andrew Holness now holds the dubious distinction that more Jamaicans have been murdered under his leadership than in 2 terms under any previous Prime Minister. Finally, the PNP notes with skepticism media reports that Minister Chang is now a big supporter of social intervention programs. This JLP administration discontinued or defunded all the flagship social intervention programs which they inherited in 2016, such as the Unite for Change initiative, the Citizen Security and Justice Program, CSJP, and the Peace Management Initiative. These actions were accompanied by repeated statements around the ineffectiveness of such programs by Dr. Chang. Now that the elections are imminent, Dr. Chang and the Prime Minister have suddenly ceased seeking to imitate authoritarian leaders and are now shamelessly copying the PNP's approach of balancing crime control with crime prevention through social investments.
My wisdom warriors, me telling you that the Jamaica Labour Party don't have a crime plan. Me telling you, so they don't have no crime plan. Mark Golding did already explain to them the way how him go approach and deal with the situation when it come to crime and violence. Yeah, and then go on like Mark Golding no know nothing. But really and truly, Mark Golding are the big man in this. Me I tell you now, Mark Golding are the man with the ideas. See they now? See what them a do right now? Look how every day the whole of them get up and a cuss Mark Golding. Every day on get up and a cuss the PL man. But yet, at the PL man ideas, una a thief and una have to use. Una is a set of copycat. Una is a set of copycat. And una get up every day and a cuss Mark Golding. And Mark Golding born and grow in a Jamaica. Every single day on the get up and I cuss Mark Golding. All una hypocrite, you know. All una hypocrite. Because una cuss Mark Golding, but yet una bow to Donald Trump. It just don't make no sense. It just don't make no sense. We telling us a phone approach what una did I do. It is not working. It is not working. You understand? I say una police officer, una figure prison. You say you Horace Chang and Kevin Blake, una figure prison for crimes against humanity. Una figure prison. Because Mark Golding already explained to una something and una never take it on board. But now, after a sudden, una take it on board. A copy Mark Golding style. A copy Mark Golding style. This is why all the time when I come out and I talk about Mark Golding for explain this and Mark Golding for explain that. That time a thief when I plan for thief man idea. I think the man don't know. The man know. You understand? The man know. Mark Golding, we don't want you to come back and explain nothing more about nothing. We know say you have this lack. Nobody can explain and give them no ideas for do nothing. The whole of them is a set of dunce. The whole of them are set of dons. The whole of them are be a lie. Them are a lie and a thief for make it in a life. Uno Jamaica Labour Party, uno for go down, man. Uno for come down now. Blouse and skirt. Uno for lift up from out of House of Parliament, man. Enough is enough, man. Anyway, my people, take in this because you see when Mark Golding step in, any meeting Mark Golding go, you know say river always come down, bang to bang. You don't know that. I hit a mad Edmund Bartley. I hit a mad out Andrew Holness because they now get the crowd where them expect. They now get the crowd. And guess what them have to do? Them have to stage the crowd. Murder, me people. Take in Marky G.
First time in 45 years. Barbican Square last night. A change is coming. Marky G next Prime Minister.
Comrade Chairman of the meeting, dynamic, energetic, Comrade Otis family. All of the comrades on the platform, MPs, senators, candidates, and of course our distinguished former parliamentarians, started with the original star boy, KD Knight, Chairman for life, Bobby Pickersgill, the great John Juna, Sister Una Clark, my neighbor, big up yourself, and of course, Comrade Beverly Anderson, man, the Duncan.
First time in 45 years, my people, Barbican Square turn up, load, till it buck. You know, see your Marky G stand up. Proud of a proud Prime Minister. He just stand up and I say blouse and skirt, river come down, bang to bang. I don't know, say a film talk that, you know. My wisdom warriors, may I tell you, so the people them really want a change, you know. People them really want a change. I just some little dunce labor right when I know nothing, when I read, when I have no understanding, lack of knowledge, I run and I cheer for Andrew Holness. But you see, God now go give we more than what we can bear. And God see what is going on. And God see what we are going through. Time come, man. Time come and the people them really need a change. Because in a Barbican Square, first time in a 45 years, and look upon the crowd. Jamaica, I want to know, roll out upon election day and vote for Mark Golding. Anyway, my people, me buck up in a Drabian live, you know, and guess one who they over there? Mark Golding is over there, Dayton is over there, and Damian Crawford is over there. So you know somebody did have to take piece of it and come share with Uno. The people Uno can always go over Drabian on TikTok. He's on TikTok. Uno can show him some love by following him, alright, and like up in video them taking this.
Up in Southwest St. Ann.
you can't find enough persons, laborers, to go and prepare to till the soil. So if you have adequate land, once it's not hilly terrain, it's flat, arable land, then you can bring in tractors and plow to help with the land preparation. So we're going to put these heavy-duty equipment in the production areas. That's one. Two, we are going to put funding at the PC bank so that farmers can have access to resources to go out there and do what they want to do. When I say to a youngster that if you plant an acre of carrots, it takes you 300,000 for the cost of production to do everything from land preparation to harvesting. And if it yields 15,000 pounds per acre, which is the average yield, if you're selling that at $100 per pound, you're going to make $1.5 million. Having spent 300, so that's a profit of 1.2, and carrot maturity time is 3 months. So if you were to plant 10 acres, you'd make $12 million in 3 months. That's more than a teacher, a doctor, or anybody like that would make. Somebody might be intrigued by that when I say it, but then they're going to need 10 times the 300. They're going to need $3 million up front to start. Most of our young people don't have access to that level of funding. So what we want to do is to put money at the PC bank so they can have access to funding. We want to also look at insurance, because with climate change and the vagaries of weather, you're going to have longer drought periods, you're going to have more inclement weather, heavier rainfall, and people's produce are at risk, so you need to have some form of insurance in place. Did you know as well that even after the farmers go out there and produce, there still is 30% post-harvest loss, meaning after you've reaped what you produce, you still lose 30% of it because we don't have adequate storage. And so storage is also going to be a key component of what we do. In the short term, we have a plan for short term, and then we have a medium to long term plan. And irrigation, I'll say irrigation and then stop at that. In 1998, the PNP did what is called the National Irrigation Development Plan, which was to irrigate the arable lands in Jamaica, and we wanted to build 51 systems. We started out with a few of them, Hounslow and Seven Rivers, Hounslow in St. Elizabeth, Seven Rivers in St. James. And this government, since 2016, have been trying to implement the Essex Valley one and the Pedro Plain irrigation scheme. And you'd have seen a video a few weeks ago where the Minister of Agriculture said he was rebutting Julian Robinson because he's going to put 5,000 hectares on the irrigation. Well, yes. We have 120,000 hectares of arable land in Jamaica. So 5,000 hectares is literally just 3.5% of that, which will move it up from the 12% that it's at now to just over 15%. So there's still a need for us to focus on irrigation. So we're going to put a specific company in place that deals with building out the irrigation. And then we're also going to look at how do we get microdams? How do we get ponds with pond liners? And I mean, how do we get assistance to persons to do the excavation and then assist them with the pond liners to rebuild the community catchment tanks and just rainwater harvesting system so that our farmers can go out there and increase their production and their yield.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell, for that reassurance and eye-opener. Party leader, I know you're busy and I know probably you would have to, we're going to wrap up shortly, but just one final question to you, party leader Golding. 5 in 4, what happened to this administration plan to grow the economy by 5% in 4 years? That have failed. We have failed to grow our country by 1% the most. This is a failure from the Jamaica Labour Party. Can you explain to the country what you think may have happened to 5 in 4, sir?
Yes, so in my view,
yes,
the 5 in 4 was an aspirational target that they promoted shortly after they came to office in 2016, but they didn't understand what it would take to achieve that. One of the big things that where I think they've fallen down over the last 9 years is in driving efficiencies in the public sector, the delivery of services, and all sorts of regulatory requirements, the time frame it takes to get through those things. And, latterly, I was meeting with some influential business people towards the end of last year, and I was telling them of our plan, which is to form a task force with all the critical leaders from the public sector on it, which I will chair as Prime Minister, as somebody who has very involved in the different efforts that we had in the T registration, your NIS registration, and your NHC registration, etc., so that when you actually incorporate the company or register the business, the certificate that comes back has all of those registrations on it, and you're ready to start doing business right away without having to run around to a number of different government offices. And you also get a TCC to begin, a tax compliance certificate to begin trading. So that was one of our innovations, and we had a significant improvement in the ease of doing business ranking. The JLP has basically abandoned that approach for the last 9 years, and that's been one of the reasons why we haven't had growth. Another reason, of course, is that there's too much corruption in the country, so that there's a lot of resources that are being misplaced, being spent in kickbacks and other forms of revenue diversion for friend and company, cronies, and so on. The nepotism of the system, and that is a big waste of public resources as well. And the crime and violence that spiked under the JLP for over the 9 years, which is only latterly started to come back. These are some of the things that have contributed to the lack of growth in the economy. And the 5 in 4 was never achieved. In fact, they came nowhere near it. Even the year before COVID started, because COVID got going right in early 2020 in Jamaica. 2019, there was virtually zero growth in the economy. And again, in 2024, we've had negative growth in the economy. And this is after Beryl, yes, and the rains in October, November. But other islands in the Caribbean that were very badly damaged by Beryl were able to achieve growth of 3%, 4%, and 5% per annum. So the excuse of it just doesn't hold water. They just haven't got what it takes to fix the real things that need to be fixed for Jamaica to grow. And one of those things is having a cohesive society, an inclusive society, helping our farmers, building our human resources by fixing the education system and the training systems, and all of those things while maintaining prudent macroeconomic and fiscal management, which we started when we were the ones who put the fiscal rules into the law. We abided by them in the hardest of times, got the debt down from over 140% of GDP to 115% of GDP in just 4 years. And they have had to continue with that because it's in the law, and we're now at 68 or 69% of GDP. So there is some more fiscal space than there used to be, but there's inefficiency in the system so that the capital budget annually is not even being spent because they're unable to spend it because they can't get through the various tasks and stages that have to be complied with under the bureaucratic rules that we have. So we're essentially saying we're going to be more adept, more nimble, and more astute in fixing those bureaucratic problems. And I intend to lead that personally when I'm Prime Minister.
Well said, Party Leader. Thank you so much, as I said, for that reassurance. And as you know, Party Leader, Dr. Campbell and Senator Crawford, this is an interactive platform, and I could not invite you all here without at least taking one question from the public. And so I want to invite Trems, go right ahead and turn on your microphone and pose your question, please. Go ahead.
Everybody can hear me? Good morning.
Yes, can hear you.
Morning.
Morning.
Comrade Leader, the consummate leader, I greet you well, sir.
Thank you.
I just basically have just one question. For the leaders that have gone before you, Comrade Portia Simpson-Miller, PJ Patterson, they all left a legacy, a strong legacy behind for Jamaica. What would you want a Mark Jefferson Golding legacy to look like when you would have stepped away from the political arena?
Thank you for that question, Trent. Well, I think ultimately I would like Jamaica to be exhibiting more robust economic growth, generating wealth for our people, so that we've achieved a virtuous circle of development, inclusive and sustainable development, environmentally friendly development, but development underpinned by a strong economy that's generating wealth for all our people. And we're doing that through tackling the housing crisis at affordable housing. Our human capital investment is up and working well. Our people are better trained, more productive, and we've built out a logistics industry that anchors Jamaica into the global supply chain network so that a lot of goods and services that the world needs can be provided right here value-added services that generate good paying jobs for our people. And I believe that is really my mission, certainly over the first term of government, to try and get that up and running.
Proud legacy. Thank you for that question, Trems. Big up yourself. Jamikes, you're up next. You only can take 2 more questions. Go ahead, Jamikes.
Hey, thank you. Good morning to everybody. First, say thank you ever so much, Dre Bryan, for facilitating this platform where we are connected and closer to our leaders. We must say thank you ever so much for making it here, Mark Jefferson Golden, the next Prime Minister of Jamaica, Damian Crawford, the next Education Minister of Jamaica. And I say again, from Marcus Garvey, he said, a people without a knowledge, history, heritage, and their culture is like a tree without root. Mr. Golden, you have been constant and consistent about having Marcus Garvey's legacy being taught in our school from the basic level. So I must congratulate you for that. My question is, education has been a problem, with over $902 billion being unaccounted for in the last 9 years. Only 18% of our youth are able to get 5 subjects or more. My question to you, given the social and economical challenges faced by parents and the factors that negatively impact students academically wise with their performance overall, how can we look forward to a Jamaica with Mark Jefferson Golden led, with education at the helm? How can we look at education and transform it? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jamites. Well, you know, our education spokesman is on the line, but I will allow him to address that. But I would just say, from a preliminary observation, we are really looking to tackle the major challenges in education. And we want to get the early childhood development and primary school thing right, because that is where the problem starts. We need a strong remedial program in secondary to make up for the lost ground that has accumulated in early childhood and primary. And we need to make sure that the tertiary is affordable, so that that avenue for social mobility and from producing a more productive workforce is a pipeline which flows and which is inclusive of all Jamaicans. And all of our measures that we've outlined are addressing those real fundamental issues, so we can see a paradigm improvement in education. But I'm going to hand over to Damien and ask him to address your question more directly.
Yes, please. Yes. Chime in, Senator Crawford.
Yeah, man. Thank you, leader. Thanks for the question. Well, one of the major issues we have identified in our education system is the level of absenteeism. The Jamaica Labour Party government recently celebrated pre-COVID levels achievement of 22%, when chronic absenteeism is 10%. So absenteeism sufficient to cause for failure or reduced performance in education is suggested to be no more than 10%. We have deep rural absenteeism of 50%. We have rural absenteeism of 33%. And even within the urban space, the less traditional schools have absenteeism up to 23%. And so we have found that that is a major problem. It's for this reason that we have proposed 2 particular things to target absenteeism. One, it is the RIDE program, which is to ensure that there is up to $2,500 per child, targeting $20,000 initially, to ensure that they can get to school from their communities that might be distances from the places, and also affordability. It's important we identify that, because some people believe that affordability is the only reason for a person to find difficulty getting to school via transportation. But there's also a need to subsidize certain routes, because if you look at an area like farming areas that don't have a lot of adults in transition, then you find the taxis don't see it as a reasonable route to ply, because a lot of adults are not leaving out, they're walking to their fields, and there's no two-way two-way passengers. So you only have passengers moving in one direction in the morning and then in the other direction in the night. So going back there with an empty load would need subsidy for that person to ply that route. Now, the proposals that we have made is 20,000. The JLP's counter proposal is 7,500. The proposals that we have made is to incorporate the private taxi persons. The JLP is suggesting to compete with them with 100 buses. Now, if you look at 100 buses at 50, that's 5,000 maximum. Now, those buses can do more than 2 routes and it would not be free. However, they can do every space. So the 12 bus in St. James will run a few routes. It won't be able to come from every single where in St. James.
Yes.
However, there would be private entities that move from that. That is one. The second thing is to target 56% of our population that research has shown to have food challenges, some severe, some less severe. And that is what our school feeding program will do. So we'll be approaching the absenteeism from that level to make sure that the reasons for absence are removed, meaning affordability and ability to get to school and to eat. The second...
Some people want to tell me what I think. Do you agree? Because me agree, you know. I don't know, so me always agree. Once a something constructive and a something for the Jamaican people or for the students and a something good and a something worthwhile, I don't know, say me have to agree with it. So you tell me what you think. Put your honest opinion in the comment section, like up the video, share it out and subscribe to my channel. And if you're new to my channel, welcome my people. I want to go over to my backup channel. It is called PNP News. Run, subscribe and get me to 5K. Tell a friend about Hata for the Press. Blessings upon blessings. One love.